You know, there's nothing quite like a good night's sleep, is there? But as we get a little older, it can feel like those restful nights are harder to come by. You might find yourself lying awake, staring at the ceiling, or waking up at odd hours, wondering how to drift back into dreamland. And let's be honest, when you don't sleep well, it doesn't just leave you feeling tired the next day. It can affect your mood, your energy, even your overall health. But here's the good news. What you eat in the evening can make a big difference. That's right. Certain foods have natural properties that help relax your body, calm your mind, and even encourage deeper, more restorative sleep. And the best part? They're simple, delicious, and probably already in your kitchen. So today, we're going to talk about one special food you can eat at night to help you fall asleep faster, plus 7 more sleep superfoods that can turn those restless nights into peaceful ones. No complicated routines, no expensive supplements, just real, wholesome foods that work with your body to help you get the rest you deserve. Now, let's start with that first food, the one you can enjoy in the evening to help you drift off almost effortlessly. Have you ever heard of Tart cherries? Not the sweet ones you might snack on in the summer, but Tart cherry juice or even dried tart cherries. These little gems are packed with something called melatonin, the same hormone your body naturally produces to regulate sleep. Studies have shown that drinking tart cherry juice in the evening can actually help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. And here's how you can easily add it to your routine. About an hour before bed, pour yourself a small glass of tart cherry juice. If you prefer something a little more substantial, a handful of dried tart cherries with a few almonds makes a perfect bedtime snack. The almonds add a bit of healthy fat and magnesium, another sleep-friendly nutrient we'll talk about in a moment. But tart cherries aren't the only food that can help. Let's talk about another one you probably know well, warm milk. Now you might be thinking, oh, that's just an old wives' tale, but there's actually some science behind it. Milk contains an amino acid called tryptophan, which helps your body produce serotonin, a chemical that promotes relaxation and, eventually, melatonin production. And when that milk is warm, it adds a soothing, comforting effect that can really help signal to your body that it's time to wind down. If you're not a fan of plain milk, try adding just a touch of honey. Not only does it make it taste a little sweeter, but honey can also help tryptophan get to your brain more effectively. It's a simple, comforting ritual that can make a world of difference. Now, before we move on to the next sleep superfood, let's take a quick moment to talk about timing. Eating too close to bedtime can sometimes backfire, especially if it's a heavy meal. So aim to have your sleep-friendly snacks about an hour before you plan to turn in. That gives your body just enough time to start digesting and absorbing those good nutrients without feeling too full or uncomfortable when you lie down. Speaking of digestion, that brings us to our next superstar, bananas. You probably already have these in your fruit bowl, but did you know they're like a natural sleep aid? Bananas are rich in potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals that help relax your muscles and calm your nervous system. Plus, like milk, they contain tryptophan. A great way to enjoy them at night is sliced up with a little peanut butter or blended into a smoothie with some yogurt. It's light enough not to weigh you down, but packed with exactly what your body needs to ease into sleep. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, what if I don't like bananas? Or, what if I can't have dairy? Don't worry, we've got plenty more options to explore. In fact, the next one is a humble little seed that's been helping people sleep for centuries. Isn't it amazing how nature provides exactly what we need? Just like those tart cherries, milk, and bananas we talked about, there's another simple food that's been used for generations to promote relaxation and deep sleep: pumpkin seeds. These little seeds might be small, but they're packed with magnesium, a mineral that's often called nature's relaxant. Magnesium helps calm your nervous system, ease muscle tension, and even regulate your heartbeat, all things that make it easier to drift off peacefully. And here's the best part, you don't need a lot to feel the effects. Just a small handful, about a quarter cup, of roasted pumpkin seeds in the evening can do the trick. If you want to make them even more enjoyable, try sprinkling them with a tiny bit of sea salt or tossing them into a light salad. You could even blend them into a smoothie if you prefer. The key is to keep it simple and let those natural nutrients do their work. Now, let's talk about a food that might surprise you, oats. You probably think of oatmeal as a breakfast food, and you're right. But it's also a fantastic choice for the evening. Oats are rich in complex carbohydrates, which help your brain produce serotonin, that same calming chemical we mentioned earlier. And unlike sugary snacks that can cause energy spikes, oats release their energy slowly, keeping your blood sugar stable so you don't wake up in the middle of the night. A warm bowl of oatmeal with a drizzle of honey and a sprinkle of cinnamon is one of the coziest ways to end your day. If you don't feel like cooking, even a few whole-grain oat crackers with a little almond butter can give you the same benefits. It's all about finding what works best for you and your tastes. Now, I know some of you might be dealing with heartburn or acid reflux, which can make eating before bed a little tricky. If that's the case, you'll love our next sleep superfood, ginger. Yes, ginger. While it's often known for soothing upset stomachs, it also has mild sedative properties that can help relax your body. A warm cup of ginger tea about 30 minutes before bed can ease digestion and create a sense of calm. Just slice a little fresh ginger, steep it in hot water, and maybe add a teaspoon of honey if you like it sweet. It's gentle, warming, and incredibly effective. And while we're on the topic of teas, let's not forget chamomile. This golden-hued herbal tea has been used for centuries as a natural sleep aid, and for good reason. It contains apigenin, a compound that binds to receptors in your brain to promote relaxation and reduce anxiety. If you've never tried it before, you're in for a treat. The flavor is light and slightly floral, and the ritual of sipping a warm cup as you wind down can be just as soothing as the tea itself. Now, before we move on to the last few sleep superfoods, I want to remind you of something important. These foods aren't magic pills. They work best when they're part of a relaxing bedtime routine. Maybe that means dimming the lights, reading a book, or listening to soft music. Whatever helps you transition from the busyness of the day into a restful night. The foods we've talked about so far, tart cherries, warm milk, bananas, pumpkin seeds, oats, ginger, and chamomile, are like little helpers, gently nudging your body towards sleep. And speaking of helpers, our next one is a true classic, one you might not expect. It's plain, simple, and probably sitting in your pantry right now, honey. Just a teaspoon of raw honey before bed can help stabilize your blood sugar and even trigger a small release of melatonin. Some people like to stir it into their chamomile tea, while others just take a little spoonful on its own. However you choose to enjoy it, it's a sweet and easy way to support a good night's rest. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, what about turkey? I've heard it makes you sleepy. And you're absolutely right. Turkey contains tryptophan, just like milk and bananas, which is why so many people feel drowsy after a big Thanksgiving meal. But you don't need a holiday feast to get the benefits. A small serving of turkey in the evening, maybe in a light sandwich or with some steamed veggies, can have the same relaxing effect without leaving you stuffed. So there you have it, 8 incredible foods that can help you sleep better, naturally. But before we wrap up, I want to share one last tip that ties everything together. You know, sometimes the simplest things make the biggest difference. And when it comes to sleep, one of the most powerful tools isn't just what you eat, it's how you eat. Think about it. A peaceful, mindful evening meal or snack can set the tone for your entire night. Rushing through dinner or eating while stressed can leave your body tense, making it harder to unwind. But when you take your time, savor each bite, and create a calm atmosphere, your whole system gets the message. It's time to relax. That's why our last sleep superfood isn't just one ingredient, it's a combination. Have you ever tried a small bowl of plain yogurt with a handful of walnuts and a drizzle of honey? Yogurt is rich in calcium, which helps your brain use tryptophan to make melatonin. Walnuts are one of the few foods that naturally contain melatonin themselves, along with healthy fats that keep your blood sugar steady. And honey, as we talked about earlier, helps tryptophan do its job even better. Together, they're like a dream team for sleep. If dairy isn't your thing, coconut yogurt works just as well. Or try a sliced apple with almond butter, another great pairing. The fiber in the apple slows digestion, preventing blood sugar spikes, while the almond butter provides magnesium and healthy fats. The key is finding combinations that you enjoy and that leave you feeling satisfied but not overly full. Now, I want to take a moment to address something important. If you've been struggling with sleep for a while, you might be feeling a little skeptical. Can a handful of pumpkin seeds or a cup of tea really make that much of a difference? The answer is yes, but give it time. These foods work with your body's natural rhythms, not against them. They're not sleeping pills, so you might not notice a dramatic change on the very first night. But if you make them part of your routine, you'll likely find that falling asleep becomes easier, your rest feels deeper, and waking up refreshed starts to feel normal again. And remember, these foods aren't just helping you sleep, they're nourishing your whole body. The magnesium in bananas and pumpkin seeds supports heart health. The antioxidants in tart cherries fight inflammation. The fiber in oats keeps your digestion smooth. So even beyond better sleep, you're giving yourself a gift of overall wellness. Before we finish, let's do a quick recap, not by listing them like a textbook, but by imagining a perfect evening. Picture this, it's an hour before bed, and you're winding down. Maybe you've just enjoyed a warm cup of chamomile tea with a little honey. Or perhaps you had a small bowl of oatmeal with sliced banana and a sprinkle of walnuts. Your body feels relaxed, your mind is at ease, and when you finally slip under the covers, sleep comes gently, the way it's supposed to. That's the power of these foods, not as quick fixes, but as part of a loving, intentional way to care for yourself. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these foods for better sleep? Did you notice a difference? Or maybe you have another favorite bedtime snack that helps you drift off. Share your thoughts in the comments. We can all learn from each other's experiences. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more simple, natural ways to feel your best at any age. Because you deserve to wake up every morning feeling rested, renewed, and ready to enjoy the day ahead. Here's to sweet dreams and even sweeter tomorrows. Good night, sleep tight, and remember, sometimes the best medicine is already in your kitchen.